Congratulations on this film. This is a beautiful movie.
Thank you.
And considering that your films have inspired so many people, I would love to start by hearing where is the most surprising place that you have found inspiration lately as a creative?
Oh, well, I feel like I always find inspiration from the conversations I have, right? Because I feel like I'm extrovert. So I'm very like, I get energy from other people. So the thing is like, I think that it's often in the conversations that I have, and I feel like more when I meet new people, like even just last night when we had the premiere of Materialists, I feel like I talked to some people who were, because of the nature of the movie Materialists, I feel like they were opening up about their dating life. And I just felt like those things are really inspiring because then you just get to know that what's going on in their intimate life. So that I think is always the inspiration.
And obviously the story follows three separate people whose lives become intertwined. What was it like kind of on set when you finally got to film with Chris, Dakota, and Pedro all together?
Oh, it was amazing. I mean, like because the truth is like they are such good friends, and they became, you know, Chris and Dakota and Pedro, they became friends, and then Dakota and Pedro were already friends.
Yeah.
So because like it's the three of them, I don't know, it was like it was really hard to get them to like, you know, like not just be so in love with each other and to have like complicated dynamics because they were just, it was so easy for them to just be like in between takes just completely fall back to like them just being like in love with each other in such a beautiful like friendly way. And I feel like I'm just like no, but you two you know what I mean? So sometimes it's about that. Sometimes the chemistry of them is like, it's about sort of like the tension too. So I think that was really fun. I mean, it was magical when they got together because they were so into each other. Yeah,
I guess that's a good problem to have.
Oh, it's a beautiful problem to have. Of course, it was like that to me. So that's what was so fun about it. I just wanted to sit there and hang out with them. But then, you know, we had to make a movie. So
were there any? I'm so curious. Were there any like, I don't even know, inside jokes or funny memories that you have of those like moments where you were like, guys, come on, get back into it?
Well, I think that in general, I mean, they're so professional. So I feel like when we were rolling, of course, they were like back to being their characters, which was amazing. But in between there, I don't know. I mean, I feel like they were giggling and whispering things to each other. I don't even know what they were saying.
Awesome.
So I don't really know. I would just be like, you know, dealing with some camera thing. And I would go over there and they'll be like, you know, like whispering to each other. I'm like, what are you guys talking about? You know?
Come on, guys.
Come on, yeah. But you know what I think about is like, you know, Chris does this thing that I think is so charming where he just goes, whenever he comes and stands on the mark, he goes, let's fucking act. You know, isn't that so charming? And then sometimes he does this thing, and of course Dakota and I were just like, we were beside ourselves, like laughing because he was so sweet. He said like, let's fucking act. But also he does this thing where he goes, I would give him a note. I would tell him to try something differently, and he would say, got it, watch this. You know, isn't that great?
That's awesome.
I know.
I love that.
Yeah, I love that too.
And I'm also curious, is there anyone that you would love to work with in the future? Because your casts so far have been like 10 out of 10.
Oh my God. Well, I feel like it also always has to be about the project.
Absolutely.
So I feel like it depends on the project. I feel like, because the thing is, it's like, of course there's so many amazing, talented actors that I would like love to just work with, you know? But it's like, it always has to do with like, you know, what the project is and who the character is and who's the right person for it. Yeah. Because I feel like I want it to be always something where it feels so like enlivening and as like alive and like living and breathing and a bit of a discovery the way it was for me and Dakota and Chris and Pedro. You know?
Yeah, absolutely. Is there a specific moment when you had your own experience as a matchmaker that made you kind of realize you could turn this into a story? Because I know sometimes I have experiences where I'm like, oh, I need to file this away. I have to write about this.
Yeah.
I wasn't sure if there was a moment that you can remember specifically.
I feel like I think every day on that job. I feel like I was working for 6 months on that job as a matchmaker. And I think that in that time, I think every day I was like, oh, I gotta write something about this. I gotta write something about this. And the truth is that the reason why I quit is because it was too fun. You know?
Interesting.
Yeah, it was too fun. So I wasn't writing. And it was supposed to be a day job. It was supposed to be a day job and I was supposed to go home and write. But I wasn't writing because, and I think that it's because ultimately people are my drug. So I think that I love just learning and knowing about people so much that I didn't really feel like I had a need to write. So I was like, well, this is not the point of a day job. Day job shouldn't be more fun than my night job.
Yeah.
So I had to quit.
That's
why I quit.
It's actually really beautiful.
Yeah.
Even if it sounds somewhat difficult at the same time.
Yeah.
Final question.
Okay.
this is a movie for romantics.
Yes.
And so many people are obsessed right now with the idea of romanticizing life. Do you have a message for people who are just going to come in this movie and are just romantics and want all of that romance in their own life?
Well, I think that it is it's a very, very romantic film. But I think that it actually has so much room for a great deal of cynicism. Because I feel like so much of romance and cynicism are so connected, right? Because I think so much of it has to be a part of life too. Because like I think it's very difficult to believe in love so passionately. I think that it is just a very heroic thing and a very brave thing, right? To ask for love and to want love and to say, embarrassingly enough, that I want love, right? So I think in that way, I think that if you're a romantic, have I got a movie for you, right? But it's also, even if you feel like you're very cynical, the truth is that I'm like, but I know that the movie fully acknowledges the cynicism too, the difficulty of dating, the impossibility at times of it. But the truth is that it's for everyone who is interested in the topic at all, which I think everybody is, because love is a universal theme. And I think that the truth is it's like men, women, young, old. I think everybody's interested in talking about love. It just has to do with like, are you too embarrassed to do it? Are you too embarrassed to talk about love? Are you too embarrassed to feel romantic? Or are you here? Or are you brave enough to say like, but I'm here for romance. I have a life. I want to feel some romance. Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
So good.
Well, thank you so much.
Thank you so much. This was so fun. Thank you so much.
This movie, literally, I left the theater like, this movie reminded me why I love movies and like made me happy to be alive.